Hey there, it's Rachel Shirley, Pet Loss Grief Coach, and it's wonderful to be with you here today. I'm actually making this video for a new friend of mine that I have met on YouTube, Miss Samantha. Thank you, Samantha, for reaching out and sharing your comment. And I so appreciate your heart. And thank you for bringing up the topic about your parents are wanting to bring home a new love pretty soon, right after your sweet girl, Debbie, passed away. And you're wondering what are some ways to handle it and how to go about that situation. So, first of all, let me just say my heart is with you, my love. I know that this has been a devastating loss. It's only been a couple days for you. And your sweet girl, she sounds amazing. And 20 years, my goodness. Boy, you have so many memories. And I know that they're flooding your mind right now. And I know in your comment, you mentioned that the house feels really empty right now without her, and everything reminds you of her. Definitely, that's so challenging because the silence can be deafening, right? It's trying to figure out how to adjust to the new normal. And I bet she was a lot like my pups, where they're like Velcro, right? They like stick to you all the time and with you 24/7. One of the things that is really challenging and difficult is that because we're with them so much, there's that constant eye contact, there's that constant touch. And so your mind and your heart are trying to understand what just happened. You're so used to seeing her there, and now her little body is gone. I'm sure you can still feel her spirit, but it's still not the same. So just be really gentle with yourself and understand that your mind and heart are really trying to connect the dots right now. You're so used to having her there, and it's okay to, turn around the corner and think you're hearing her drinking her water or her little, nails walking across the floor or her barks, right? I know you mentioned she was a great guard dog, so I'm sure you miss that. And I bet your family does too. So my heart is with you. When it comes to this particular topic, and again, thank you for bringing it up about the conversation, your parents are wanting to welcome a new puppy pretty soon. They're already talking about it, and it just feels so soon for you. I totally get it. Totally get it. It can be a little challenging sometimes when we, live with people and they have their own ways of doing things and seeing things. And so it's really about honoring what's in your heart and having the conversation of just being able to express where your thoughts are on it and seeing if they're open to having a conversation. You mentioned that they are talking about maybe getting a little one that looks like Debbie and how that would be really difficult. I'll share a story with you, a personal story. So when Winston passed, I was going to probably bring in a new puppy eventually. I wasn't sure when, but we waited actually for about 5 or 6 months because it was hurricane season in Florida. My husband was out of the state working with his boss. And so it was just myself and Spencer, our other boxer. And he was grieving, and I was grieving, and I was grieving for him. And I wouldn't have been able to handle it. So we postponed it. Otherwise, if my husband would have been there, no hurricanes, and everything would have been fine, I probably would have welcomed a new one into the home to help Spencer. I don't know, maybe a couple months. But regardless, we waited about 6 months and we got baby Charlie. And Charlie looks exactly like Winston. and his brother Spencer. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to, get a different color, maybe the black and white boxer or brindle, but we really love the fancy fawn. And so when we started looking, we said, okay, we can do this. One thing I want to share with you is that if your parents do end up getting a new puppy and it looks like Debbie, I understand that it will probably hurt your heart, but I want to just share one perspective with you, okay? As you know, it's not replacing. You know that 100%. And it's not going to do anything with Debbie's legacy. I know that's on your heart, but really, you have full control with her legacy, and she created her own legacy. Nobody could live up to her. I just know it. Nobody could, right? And so just know that those thoughts come right now, but the truth is that when you see that little one and if it looks exactly like her, you're going to be okay, most definitely. And a perspective is to just know that you're helping this little one and protecting it from maybe being in a different family that wasn't so kind and that wouldn't have taken care of this little one. So it's a completely different relationship. Back to my story with getting baby Charlie and Charlie looking like Winston. So no matter if they look alike, there's always this thing about comparison. I don't think we can not compare in the beginning. I think we're so attached to them. We've had such a good history with them. So it's just natural that we might compare, and I did that with baby Charlie. And I thought to myself, that's okay. I'm doing that right now. And it's turned out that Charlie is an amazing dog. Yes, he is nothing like Winston in many aspects, but it's funny because I see little parts of Winston in baby Charlie. He'll perk up his ear a certain way, or, well, I'll tell another story another time, but he does this really funny thing after he poos. Well, I'm already telling it, right? Winston would go poo, and then he would dart off 100 miles an hour. It was like he felt so good. And baby Charlie does that. Spencer never did that, but baby Charlie does it. So I share this with you to say that keeping your heart open to seeing what God has for you in the new relationship and knowing that your sweet girl Debbie is always going to be with you. Always, always in spirit, even though she's in heaven right now. And now I'm going to go to a different part of the conversation. So I wanted to share my experience with that, with getting a similar colored, and same breed, actually. When it comes to the conversation with your parents, everybody is different, right? And so we all go through life at different stages, having different experiences and kind of shaping our personality and our desires and wants. What's not different is that I believe that God designed us where we all have that that desire to nurture. That's who we are. We're here on this earth to have relationships. And so as pet parents, we're called by God to really take care of sweet ones. And you mentioned that you and your family always have dogs. So it's just the timing aspect, right? And also the coloring, and it's not replacing. But just one perspective to think of is that your parents are maybe in a place where they just know that they aren't going to compare that much. They understand maybe through life experiences and maybe having a few more dogs in their life that they know how to welcome in a new love and still grieve your sweet girl, Debbie. And that's one thing that I share with families that I work with and clients is, listen, there's this beautiful thing where you can open up your heart to a new love and grieve at the same time. Everybody's on a different journey. So there's no right or wrong answer. What's right for you is right for you. And what's right for your parents is right for your parents. And the beauty of this is that you have an opportunity to go to them and you guys have a beautiful conversation of learning about each other's style and what would be helpful for you guys as a community, as a family. And maybe you can share what some of your concerns are. And maybe you'll find out that they had some of those concerns too, and they're glad that you brought it up. You never know. So I would say my biggest thing for you would be to be gentle with yourself. It's only been a few days, and I know that even the concept of having another one come into your home feels like replacing. So have that conversation with your parents and just be honest and authentic and share your heart. And maybe also say that in the conversation, you're just wanting to find a common ground where you all can come to a good understanding and compromise, understanding each other's point of view in this, and deciding what's best for you all as a family. So I hope that helps, my love. I definitely, in my book, you might want to get it or see if your parents can get it. You can get it on Amazon or my website. But in the back of my book, chapter 9, it's a whole chapter for it, Time to Love Again. And there's 3 different devotions that I put in there, speaking about this particular topic. And yeah, so my heart is with you. Also, I remember seeing in your comment, you mentioned, you might feel there's some guilt. You might feel guilt if you welcome a new one into your home. I don't know. Maybe you're like me and many other people that I know. It seems like sometimes we feel guilty even if we don't feel guilty. We feel guilty if we aren't feeling guilty, and we feel guilty if we feel guilty. It's kind of this weird thing that happens, right? And I think part of our journey here on earth is really becoming authentic and finding out what really you stand for to yourself, right? How can you be gentle and honor what your thoughts and feelings are right now? And if you feel guilty, that's okay. Maybe it's too soon. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just know that one day you won't feel guilty. And I think that's going to be part of the point, is kind of letting yourself off the hook down the road whenever you do have a new one in your home, is that you really can love and grieve at the same time. It's just a matter of when it feels right for you. In my book, too, one of the parts in that chapter is I talk about being fluid with the decision, right? Because when we first are starting to grieve, we have brain fog, fatigue. I mean, everything, confusion, everything's kind of clouded, right? And so it's kind of like time can go by and kind of get some more clear feelings. You can really honor your grief and release feelings. And then they'll come right back, a big wave, right? And then honor your feelings and release them, talk about them with safe people where you feel heard and understood and validated. And then you'll see that guilt it's more harmful than it is helpful, right? So yes, right now I totally get it. And that's okay. But just don't let it control any of your decisions. Okay, my love? I hope that helps. I feel like I've been rambling on forever. I have no idea how long I've been on this. But you can tell I'm really passionate about this topic. So just know my heart is with you. Let me know if you would like me to talk about any other specific topics. And I hope this has given a little bit of light and a little bit of love into your situation. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. You have all of the answers that you need. I'm just here to help point you to some perspectives to think about and to also encourage you to be gentle with yourself, do a lot of self care, and know that you are not alone on this journey. And this grief thing sucks. It just does. It absolutely sucks. And I actually have a chapter in here that says this grief thing sucks. It's titled that. I will tell you that, oh my goodness. I mean, our dogs are like our children to us, so I understand that you're hurting right now. So just be really gentle with yourself and take good care. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this helped you. And if there's anything else that came up that you want me to talk about, I'll be happy to hop on here for you. Okay, my love? Okay. God bless you. Take good care. Talk to you soon. Bye.